In today's video, I am going to discuss deconstruction. Understood? And I must read this because it is going to be very interesting topic. And the topic is structure, shine, and play in the discourse of human science. And this is written by Derrida. Okay, Jacques Derrida or Jacques Derrida, whatever. Jacques Derrida. He was born in 1930 and died in 2004. He was a 20th century Algerian born French philosopher. He belonged to a Jewish family. As a result, he faced discrimination at the beginning of his life. He was known for developing deconstructionism. He was known for developing deconstructionism. Okay. He was known for developing deconstructionism. Is that clear? Or deconstructionism, post-structuralism, and postmodernism. His major works, if you look at his major works, the three major works in the same year are of Grammatology, 1967, Writing and Difference, 1967, and Speech and Phenomena, 1967. When did he give the lecture? The lecture was given in 1966 at Hopkins University. Understood? Now I am going to come to the topic. Okay, you know what happened? This fellow who wrote a lot of books, understood? And this fellow, as he was a philosopher, as he was Algerian born French philosopher, naturally he got invited to deliver a lecture on structuralism. Understood? Very interesting. And the year was 1966. And that fellow, the topic of, discussion was structuralism. But that fellow who attended the conference, understood, was not aware of the topic. Interesting. The moment he heard the topic, he, within 10 to 15 days, wrote the essay preceding the conference. He wrote within a period of 10 to 15 days. Understood? And then he delivered the lecture in French. And world's greatest theorists who were known to people all over the world. And those theories were, number one, Foucault, number two, Lacan, number three, Bugs. These people were famous and were one of the greatest pillars, understood, in the in the subject. And naturally, it was interesting to note that even those fellows who were listening to him kept spellbound. He succeeded in keeping those people spellbound. The reason was, first of all, when he started, he said, actually, if you look at deconstruction, understood, or you can call it, structure, sign, and play in the discourse of human science. When he was doing, deconstruction, when he was delivering his lecture on it, one thing at that time was, it was post-structuralism, and post-structuralism, or you can say deconstructionism. It was actually post-structuralism. When he meant what post-structuralism meant at that time, they were astonished. Actually, the conference was on construction, understood? structuralism. But this fellow started giving lecture on post-structuralism. Understood? A conference based on he is delivering lecture on post-structuralism. Was it right to give the lecture on post-structuralism? Yes. If you ask me why, it was very important to give a lecture on post-structuralism at that time. I must say yes. It was very important to give the lecture on post-structuralism. Why? Post-structuralism is an extension of structuralism. Understood? Why? When they actually structuralism is derived from linguistics, whereas post-structuralism derived from philosophy. These are main basic difference between these two topics. Understood? And when he was describing structuralism, he was mentioning the fellow whose name was this fellow. He was mentioning him. He was a renowned person. No. Theory of this fellow. The fellow who gave this theory, the theory of binary opposition. Understood? This fellow, and his name was Claude Lévi-Strauss. Claude Lévi-Strauss. This fellow, he actually he found it important to actually quote him or mention. But before he started, he found it important to quote one of the greatest, philosopher. Understood? Or rather, theorist. Understood? Of his time. And that fellow's name actually was Michel de Montaigne. Understood? This fellow, he mentioned Michel de Montaigne. Then he quoted Michel de Montaigne. Before he delivered the lecture, he mentioned what Michel de Montaigne said about structuralism. What he said was, we need to interpret the interpretations more than to interpret things. This is what Michel de Montaigne said. Understood? The first thing, his lecture is based on this fellow. Understood? Then, why he said this? What is the reason behind his saying this? Why did he find it important to say this? The reason was, whatever interpretations were given were described, interpreted. But he said the interpretation should be interpreted from now onwards. It is necessary to interpret the interpretations.
Okay, so
before you go to the subject matter, you try to interpret the interpretation.
Okay, I understand the logic that what the person was just trying to convey, that when you are supposed to enter into some conversation or into some literary works, you have to assume something which you already keep in your mind, keep in your head. And first of all, for example, if I think that red is the symbol of something, the symbolism of love, other can think as well that no, red is the symbol of the violence, red is the symbol of bloodshed as well. So the interpretations can be different when you are before entering into the whole conversation or the main interpretation which was given by the author himself or herself. So maybe it's what he just wanted to say. Maybe I assume.
No, actually, he said he based his lecture on what he said. After that, he gave his own concept of rapture. Understood? And before he gave the before he described deconstruction. Understood? He mentioned three, philosophers or theorists. Understood? And they are Nietzsche, Freud, and Hegel. These three persons. Actually, the reason why he mentioned them was, you know, like this fellow, if you look at what Nietzsche said, understood? Nietzsche, Freud, and Hegel have tried to break away from the obsession to have a fixed center or a fixed structure. Understood? These three people have tried to break away from the obsession to have a fixed center. Nietzsche questioned the power of representation and concept. He said there are no facts, only interpretations. During a time when the conscious mind was given much importance, Freud came up with the idea that unconscious mind is controlling our behavior. And Hegel criticized the idea of being as presence. So, all the three have already started to move away from the established structures. These Derrida thinks of as concept of rapture. They had started to deconstruct or look for more or multiple meanings. So, Derrida favors the concept of rapture or deconstruction. Understood? When he says that, it doesn't mean that we should neutralize what is said, what is not natural, but instead, what we should do is we should not assume that what is conditioned by history, institutions, or society is natural. We should start questioning and find out multiple meanings or realities. Understood? Now, before I come to Levi-Strauss, these are what actually he said before he started his lecture. Understood? Then, now I want to come to what is deconstruction. Like, before he deconstructed, understood? Before he gave his lecture on deconstruction, what he said? He gave, lecture on sign. As the concept was, what was it? The topic of discussion was structure, sign, and play in the discourse of human science. Understood? When he said this, he actually, gave importance to the fact that, understood, whatever structure was given, understood, according to, linguistics, clear? It lacks. What is it? Actually, first of all, raised sign. Then he said signifier and signified. Clear? What is sign? Sign, for example, like look at that ball. That is yellow ball. Can you see this ball? Understood? What is this ball? Yellow in color. That is a ball. For example, what is this? Signifier. Signifier, what is signifier? Signifier is a word. What is signifier? Signifier is a word. And what is it about? It's a word. It has a sound. Understood? So, this is a signifier. And signifier is signified. When is it signified? When you feel it. Understood? When it's an object. When it is specified. When signifier is signified. When the word is signified. Ball, you have touched it, you have felt it, you understood this is a ball. Understood? Then what does it become? It becomes an object sign. Give it to me, give me the ball. Give me the ball. This is a ball. Understood? What is it? This is first of all sign. An object. This is signifier. A word, ball, BALL. then this ball actually is a sound now. I cannot see it. It's a sound. I can hear it. Then when it is specified, it is taken in front of you. What is it? It is signified now. It is a ball. But when it is a ball, it has become a sign or not? It has become a sign. Clear? Now, what I want to tell you, this ball, do you think the ball with what is it? According to you, it's an object. Huh? But are you sure this is the only ball in this world? Actually, the ball is a sign with a center in it. Understood? But when we mention ball, we cannot say which ball it is. It may be a ball used for playing cricket. It may be a basketball. Understood? It may be a, what is that?
Basically, a word which is signifying
Football.
It actually conveys the anonymity within this world where the center is not fixed. So,
Center is not fixed. Center varies.
okay.
Understood? Center changes. So you can call it a rapture according to
A break, a rapture.
rapture, a break according to Derrida. Understood? Is that clear? Have I been able to make it very clear to you? So you have understood what is signifier, signified, sign. Is the concept very clear now?
So basically, what is the signified? Signified is something which is compared with this or
Understood?
compared with this.
Construction.
No. I'm talking about signified. So
Signifier, signified, sign.
So basically, when I'm talking that it is a ball, it means like I'm giving an example that
Take for an example a tree.
no. I'm giving an example that a cat is a cat because it is not a bat
Cat is a cat because it is not a bat.
Rat.
Understood? Or a rat.
or a rat.
Understood?
So basically, the word the characteristics of the cat are in the word of cat, in the word of the in the animal, but not in the word. But we are supposed to say that this is the cat. This is why we are learned that yes, we have to say that this animal should be called cat.
Cat. It should be called cat, but cats with its characteristics varies from place to place,
Place to place.
even from areas to areas. Understood?
Okay, it's quite-
It can be a cat from Australia. It can be a big cat, small cat.
So
Understood?
it's quite interesting.
Understood? Did you get it?
Yes,
What
yes.
have I been able to make you very clear? So it varies. The word with its center varies. Understood? According to place, according to time, according to season, or something like that. Is that clear? Now, when you come to deconstruct, this is how the word was deconstructed. Take for example, what tree? But I'm not talking about the specific tree. The tree may either be a banyan tree or coconut tree, but first of all, when you have mentioned tree is only signified and it has become a sign. But I'm not talking about which tree this particular tree
Like
is.
before I say that the red is the symbol of something violence,
Yes.
or something love, or something.
Yes, yes.
So when it is in a poem,
Yeah.
like a love poem of Shakespeare, we can say it's the symbol of love. But on the other hand, if it is in a African play, or if it in a very play which is a post-structuralism or post-colonialism, we can say it can be considered as the symbol of bloodshed. So it varies
From place to place, time to time,
context to context.
context to context, time to time,
So here the place and time, it are the measurements of the context.
and event as well. Understood? Is there any problem now? Have I made it very clear to you?
One question that we are talking that this is signifier.
Yeah.
The word is signifier, and the object itself is a signifier. But if I'm talking that, so we can say that the signified signified is changeable.
Yes.
The signified is
Yeah. Signified sign is changeable.
okay.
It changes. Doesn't it change? I'm telling you. 20 degree, 25 degrees Celsius.
Hmm.
Understood? Is a cold climate for a tropical for a country like what is the a climate that may be tropical climate, right? Huh? Tropical or temperate or tropical, 25-degree tropical. Okay, but can it be a cold season for Antarctica? Understood? Did you get me what I'm saying?
Yes, I understood.
Understood?
Yes.
So it changes. The center can change and the sign can change. Do you get it? So the sign means the word changes, understood, with its center. Similarly, the writer is giving some examples. If you look at the everything in this world, including the world, even the human body, even the solar system is based on structure. Understood?
So I have another conclusion. If we compare with a cat with a dog or a ball with a bat, so if we compare these two things, that we can differentiate that this is bat and this is ball, and we differentiate it by comparing with each other, the two objects.
Yeah.
So basically, when I am identified the ball as a ball, it means that the word ball, the signifier, it is constant, but at the same time, when the center displaced, or I am saying that yes, this is doesn't vary the characteristics of the ball, but at the same time, the round shaped thing which is beside this, it is a ball. So with giving a very healthy context or a comparison, we can identify or differentiate the ball as a ball. So we can say that so can you say that every there is at the end of the day there is everything turned into a signifier. Nothing is signified.
Yeah, everything is there. Are a lot of signifiers are there.
Yes.
But and even if they are signified, it doesn't mean that they are fixed.
Because if
This is the fixed signified is not with a fixed center.
yes.
The center changes.
Yes, I compared the two things. But at the same time, if I want to compare the bat with the other thing like this bottle, then the signifier changed and it turned into a signifier. So at the end of the day, there is no signified in this world. This is full of a comparison of the signifiers. So basically, what Derrida was talking, is it like that
The sign with its center changes.
changes?
Understood.
At the end of the day, there is no signified. Everything
Yes.
is signifier.
Yes, and now I want to tell you, for example, I'm giving the example of a classroom, understood, with a teacher in it, understood. Now, who is the center of the classroom? The teacher.
The teacher.
Why is he called the center of the classroom? Because for a class, a teacher is the center, and the teacher controls the class. The students are disciplined only because of the presence of the center, or the teacher is, after all, controlling the entire class. Is that clear? The teacher is controlling the class. Do you get it? And there are things that the teacher is not a part of. There are certain rules and regulations in the class that are not even carried out by the teacher himself. Do you get me what I am saying? Even the teacher doesn't carry out certain rules and regulations meant for the class. Understood? Or there are some happenings that even the teacher is not a part of. Do you get it? Does it mean the teacher is a center? Fit to be the center? Doesn't it? Can't the student be allowed free play?
Yes, they should be, and
It
I
means-
think what you said is quite justifiable, because when we consider the teacher as the center, it means that all the knowledge or the intellect flows from the teacher, but there is no both side conversation at the same time. So the students get numb, or the reactionless puppets at the end of the day. So when the teacher himself became active, the word, even the teacher word, it doesn't conveys its own characteristics. So basically the center displays from the whole class.
Yeah. Center moves. Center actually is not intact.
So can we say that?
And I'm telling you, a father who is disciplined, understood? A father who is disciplined. Who is a father? Father is the center of the family.
Yes.
If a father is strong, the family will be strong. If the father is not that strong, as is not disciplined, what will happen to the members of the family? Family,
There will be
there will be chaos,
chaos,
and the family will not be a good one. It will be a fragmented one.
fragmented.
Is that clear or not? So, what the structuralists say, they are mentioning structure with a stable center. They talked about structuralism. Understood? They talked about a sign with a stable. Talked about the words, the structure with a stable center. But when Derrida did the deconstruction, understood? Clear? What did he do?
He broke the
He broke away from the concept of
concept of
structuralism, and he did deconstruction.
I think rather than breaking away from the rules and set of rules, I think he created a new set of rules.
Yes.
And at the same time,
And from after he gave the lecture, the study of deconstruction started.
yes,
Post-structuralism started.
But I think what he created as a set of rules, after that, I think in those set of rules, there are no rules to create the structure, because in a structure there should have a center first of all. So when we talk about the structure is already a set of rules, a set of regulations. But I think Derrida reassert the thing without neglecting the previous accommodations, previous thought process. He reassert the thing or refined the things. I think so. Because deconstruction is not about breaking rules or set of things or
No.
deconstructing things.
Everything is same.
Yes.
It is an extension of construction.
So it is like a reassertment or a refinement of the previous theories, I think so.
So yes, 20th century French structuralist and anthropologist. His name was Claude Lévi-Strauss. This Claude Lévi-Strauss, according to him, binary opposition is a key concept in structuralism that states that understanding is formed through opposition. Like, through opposition you can understand what? Structuralism is a key concept according to him. Like, if there is, to understand black, what do you need to know? You need to know white.
Yes.
Understood? To know what is cold, you need to know hot. Understood? If you want to know a woman, you need to have the knowledge of man.
So,
What is this? His concept was criticized by Derrida. Derrida said it encourages. What does it encourage? It talks about hierarchy. Understood? But a word, a sign is a sign. A word is a word. Understood? Why should it be, proved through difference?
the difference.
Why should it be proved? Why do you want to show the existence of a word through its difference?
I think here comes the theory of difference and difference.
Understood? Difference. He gave the new word difference. Understood? So, this fellow, according to Lévi-Strauss, all elements of human culture can only be understood in relation to another. Understood? Now, the problem with this, according to Derrida, is that everything cannot be limited to binary opposition. To get it what I'm saying? According to Derrida, the problem with this theory, by whom? Theory of binary opposition? Lévi-Strauss. The problem with the theory of Lévi-Strauss was that Derrida said everything cannot be limited to what? Everything cannot be limited to a binary opposition. Do you get it what I'm saying? Everything cannot be described through difference. When you talk about difference, what do you talk about? You are talking about hierarchy.
Yes.
As you are a part of the male dominated society, you are giving importance to
Hierarchy.
understood. Do you get it, men?
So basically, Derrida is trying to criticize the Western and Western American concept of being restricted through rules, or
Yes.
being directed through rules, that where a set of rules cannot considered as the rules of the structuralism or deconstruction, because when he set the rules, he talks about something which is already set. It cannot be changed. But a society needs always a change within it. But at the same time, the philosophy and the science, it goes hand in hand. The philosophy talks about the different perspective and the different viewpoints. But at the same time, science of the Western science, it talks about the stability and the stable mentality. So it rejects the philosophical thoughts as well. So I think here the rivalry between the philosophy and science came from this structure science.
So, what can you say? Binary opposition, hot and cold, need not be same everywhere. Everything cannot be limited to it. Understood? Like I have given you the example, 25 degree, can be seen, can be called cold for a tropical country, but not for Antarctica. Is that clear? So, so you can understand that, Derrida presented structure, sign, and play in a conference uh, about structure held at John Hopkins University. Was it not a historic lecture? Didn't it present him or made him popular among the people, among this field? From this field, didn't it make him familiar, popular among the people from this field? Didn't he become a prominent name? So now what I want to tell you. So I think your concept of deconstruction is more or less clear. Have you got the idea?
What is difference? Can you say?
Now I want to tell you. The difference is actually to oppose what he said about difference. Who? Levi Strauss. And now I want to tell you, he named it his own way. Understood? The words are changing. Maybe what is appropriate today, tomorrow it will not be appropriate. Maybe there will be a day when difference will be accepted in place of difference. Do you get it what I am saying? So nothing is permanent. There nothing is, even the center in a word is not permanent. Are you getting me? So I want to give you an idea about the center of the structure is not fixed. Do you get it why? The reason why he used difference is because even today the notion of a structure lacking a center represents unthinkable itself. Derrida suggests that this model of structure will end and is ending, and that a newer and freer, though still unknown, thinking about structure will emerge. The center of structure is not fixed. So, the center of structure is fixed. Is it fixed? So, the difference can be difference. Understood what I am saying? So, he had changed it. Who? Derrida. So, in the absence of a stable center, when one center could be replaced by another, free play could happen. Free play, can't it happen? A teacher without a class in absence of a teacher, will the children be disciplined? Or when you allow your children to go wherever he wants? Understood? But there are some families there are some children in some families who even know about things much better than their parents. For example, I'm giving you the examples of some families, modern families. I see there are some children who can use smartphone. They can make payment for, they can book gas, understood? Can do the booking, and they can pay the electricity bill. And the parents cannot do anything. The parents to do these things or to get these things done, they depend on their children. Do not the children occupy a central position?
Yes.
Do you get it what I'm saying? So the center is not stable.
I think if we thought it from a very larger perspective or a larger poetic shape, that if we talk about the colonial perspective or the colonialism, where we always think that West and the America are the center of the world, and we always say that we always used to hear from the people that yes, I did a world tour right now, but after hearing his experiences or her experiences, we got to know little information about the African countries or even the rare informations of the African countries and the Asian countries, because they think that the West culture, the Western and the America, it is the center of the world. But as per the information, the world is all together, or maybe the universe is the world. So there is no center, but we centralize the America and the Western as the center of
It
this
means
world.
center
And
changes.
center of this world.
If someone asks you where do you live, you first say in India.
India.
Then if someone says again where do you live in India, then you see Delhi.
No, I'm talking
Then-
about the vague concept of the modern human, that they think what Derrida said years before ago.
Yeah.
But our humans think that if we can go to America, if we can go to the Western
Yes.
countries, it means that we achieve something or achieve success. This is the center for us, and this is the center that after roaming all these places, we can see people that we make a world tour. But at the same time, we doesn't have any idea about the African countries.
So the bottom line is center is within the structure. Center is within the structure, but escapes structurality.
I don't agree that center is within the structure, because I think
Center is within the structure, but escapes structurality.
yes,
Try to understand.
it's structurality.
Do you get it?
But sometimes I think it doesn't within the structure. Why I'm saying this, because if we talk about a structure,
But from this perspective, center is the most alien and entrenched element in the structure.
yes, because
It comes from somewhere outside and remains absolute until a new center is substituted
Yes.
in a seemingly arbitrary fashion.
yes, I think if we talk about the center, what you say within the structure, but it is a very it is a very alien thing within it. Yes, it is alien, but sometimes I think it is also not within the structure. It is outside the structure at the same time. I think.
That I have mentioned.
Yes. When you talk about that, for example, when you talk about that we always go by train, but at the same time, if we talk that no, we usually go by train, we often go by train, but at the same time, we also use the buses, the autos,
Other modes of transport.
other modes of transport. But we cannot consider the transport as it is not often, as it is not regular. So basically, we maintain the continuity and the regularity in our life. That something which is up in hierarchy, we think that is the center. But at the same time, something which is outside our periphery or outside our own business, we think this cannot be the center of our own business.
Yes. So you can say that the center at the center of the totality, and yet since the center does not belong to the totality, is not a part of the totality. The totality has its center elsewhere. Center is paradoxically within the structure and outside it. The center is not the center. The term event would imply something very specific. Derrida instead uses the term rapture. Understood? Rapture?
I think rapture is also similar to aporia.
Yeah. You know, when something is flexible,
Flexible.
when something changes,
Tangible, right, sir?
tangible, when something changes.
Changes.
So, Derrida, why the reason I'm just going to give you why the Derrida used the term rapture. You know, Derrida used the term rapture instead of event this rapture or change has already started to occur. Understood? Has not it started to occur? Why does the center change? Does not it change? That one what cannot remain the same.
Yes.
One tree is not the, we cannot mean all trees by mango tree.
Language.
It may be a, olive, or it may be a coconut, neem, understood? Maybe specified, understood, or maybe it has become a sign, but the center, the sign with its center changes. Am I right or not?
Yes, but sometimes I think that it actually depicts the theory of anonymity and what can I say, the arbitrary. That what you think that this is the arbitrary thing, that this tree is the only tree and the tree can be the symbol of the only thing. And after that, when we read other poem, that the total concept of the symbolism of the tree changes. I think here the center also changes, as well as with the the difference of the difference of the symbolism of the heart.
This is the reason Freud came up with the idea that unconscious mind is controlling our human behavior. We are not conscious at all. Tell me, are you reading all the poems with full consciousness?
No. We actually point out some words or lines that yes, this can be the center of my own mind, and I can contemplate those things on those.
Actually, it is you who is allowing subconscious mind to control your consciousness,
Consciousness.
to control your brain. Understood? So, or to control your behavior.
I think the theory of the subconsciousness is also there in our last semester, that where we are talking about what is the theory? The secondary and the primary memory. We are talking about what was the name of the man?
And now I want to mention a few more things like nature and culture. If you look at nature, what is this? Universal, spontaneous, not depending on any particular cultural norm. Does nature depend? Whereas culture can depend. In one society, incest is allowed. In another, incest is not allowed. Do you understand what is incest? Do you get it what I'm saying? So, what is it? Whereas culture is acquired. It depends on a system of norms, is capable of varying from one social structure to another. Do you get it what I'm saying? So, if so, is, do you think, it is a part of incest? If so, is incest natural or cultural?
I think it's incest. Incest means what you mean?
Incest means relations outside, like we marry. Understood?
Okay.
We marry. We marry those outside our those. Sometimes no. We enter into physical relationships with those who are from outside our relatives or outside our families. And especially, I look for a female from outside my, known circle of blood relations or something like that. But there is no problem. But when it comes to,
Within the family.
understood, when it comes to participating, understood, or having that particular kind of relationship, understood, with those within the family, within the relatives, within the circle, understood. So that is branded, or that is called taboo, understood. But in some society that is allowed,
So
isn't it?
you are talking of you are. I think you are thinking about that. We cannot.
So to some society incest is natural,
We can.
and to some
we cannot go beyond the set of rules of structures
Yes.
that the structure already set. And I think the disciplines, the discourse even, and even something which is happened in
But what is good to you is bad to us, and what is bad to you is good to us.
and even the
Do you get me what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
What is not acceptable to you is acceptable to someone else.
Someone else. Yes, because your structure doesn't permit you to do so.
Yes,
But at the same
your
time,
structure is not final.
final.
So you have to accept the extension of the structure. You are talking about the structure
So
based
he
on
is
linguistics,
talking
and he was talking about a structure
So
based
he
on
is
philosophy.
trying to break the raptures of the, trying to identify the raptures that where the structure difference from each other. That if I am following a set of rules or a structure, it doesn't mean it is the foremost rules. Like for a easy example, India follow a constitution. But the similar constitution cannot be followed in UAE or USA.
That is
Because
what
they
I'm
have
talking
their own
about.
structure and their own
Understood.
rules. So this is what I
So it is very natural or not?
Yes.
Now I want to tell you. Then this fellow, Bricolas, he has talked about this Levi Strauss, talked about bricolage, that is savage mind. Clear? So what is bricolage? Bricolage is the skill of using whatever is at hand and combining them to create something new. Understood? Savage mind. Clear? What is it? It's the skill of using whatever is at hand and combining them to create something new. One who makes the bricolage is the bricoler. Understood? One who makes the bricolage, understood, is called a bricoler. 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 Understood? So what is bricoler? Bricoler and engineer. Levi-Strauss compares the working of bricoler and the engineer. Understood? Engineer who has a scientific mind. Engineer is someone who has a scientific mind. Whereas an engineer, what does he do? He deals with projects in entirety. Thinks of availability of materials, making plans, creating tools, etc. He wants to create stable systems. Engineers. He wants to create a stable system. There will be a specific purpose behind his plans. But bricklayer, what does a bricklayer do? Bricklayer is savage mind. What does he do? Bricklayer, who is the savage mind, puts pre-existing ideas, what is at hand, in new ways, used for purposes that they were originally not meant for. Understood? Bricklayer is a savage mind. For example, what is a hammer used for? For an engineer, it is used to hammer the nail. Fix the nail or hammer the nail. To hammer the nail, hammer is used. Understood? But for a bricklayer, he can use it to open the as a door stopper. He can use the hammer to do some other things, to break the stones. Understood? Or to do to perform some other work. Understood?
Maybe here he's talking about the creative faculty of human mind. That
Yes.
we human mind ourselves restricted our human mentality within the society, where the society doesn't permit us to think beyond the structure.
That is
And
what is called extension of structure.
structure. That we think about always the scientific things, and we always have a parameter that if you are an engineer, if you are a doctor in this society, you can be honored in this society.
What did I say? Everything, even the world is composed of a structure.
Composed.
Even the solar system. But there are things happening. What is that? Extension of the structure.
And something which is unknown to us and very alien to us, we doesn't consider is as our consider is that yes, we
What?
doesn't knew it.
The everything is functioning with a center in it. Even the solar system with the sun in the middle as the center. They depend. All the all the satellites are orbiting the sun. Understood? If by chance one of the satellites or of the sun, understood, gets diverted, understood, what will happen? It will not be a part of the solar system. Then will it not look for another structure
Yes.
until something is substituted? Will it not look for a center?
Yes, because the whole galaxy, what it made, it actually also immersed into something what we didn't knew. So basically, our knowledge is so constricted, and basically it is so what can I say, trivial, that it doesn't go beyond all those structures and things. And even we talk about the sun and the earth and the other planets moves around the sun, but I don't think that this is something which is ultimate. This is
Understood.
something which is ultimate.
This is just I want
Not
to.
absolute, we cannot say. It is
Yes.
not absolute.
So, what I want Levi-Strauss studies on means Levi-Strauss praises, Derrida praises Levi-Strauss. Levi-Strauss's recognition that a mythological system cannot be studied as though it was some finite portion, of physical reality to be scientifically divided and conquered. But Derrida criticizes Levi-Strauss for an inability to explain historical changes, for describing structural transformation as the consequence of outside forces. Understood? It means substitute centers.
Substitute.
Do you get it what I'm saying? So now I want to tell you, just what have you understood out of the lecture?
I think I understood that the structuralism, it was basically a set of rules or a set of permissible rules which the philosophers, not the linguistics, used to follow. But when the philosophy came into the field, they gave the human to think beyond what is restricted, to think
Yeah,
beyond
to think beyond restricted
restricted
right.
rights. I think
Understood?
For
To
example, I can
even
say
the field of linguistics is restricted,
Restricted.
structured.
Structured.
So there is a necessity to go beyond
the restriction.
linguistics.
Yes.
Understood? There is a need for studies to be conducted
What we say that
to go beyond the
in
circle of
economics,
linguistics.
it's in a, multi what can I what
Dimensional.
No. We say that what we say
Multifaceted,
that,
multilingual,
no,
multicultural.
No. Not multicultural, multilingual. Like what
Multipurpose.
kind of study we say a kind of study that
Multipurpose.
no, multi-purpose not. What kind of study you can say? Not multi. What kind of study? What was
Diverse.
diverse, not diverse study. When we actually want to understand something in a very dimensional way, from very dimensional way, what we say that what kind of study that was very what kind
You
of,
cannot look for the right word.
yeah, I think that was the
Philosophical.
not philosophical. What kind of studies? Multicultural, not multicultural. When every subject was studied in a very open forum, what do you say that? What kind of study? Like a very I think what I understand that
Diverse.
diverse or what
Okay,
kind of,
okay,
a
okay.
kind of a study. So I think, for example, I can say that the reality of the African were different. The reality of the colonials peoples were different. So basically, when we talk about that, yes, this is the reality. The reality is changeable. The truth is not the absolute thing.
Truth is not the absolute thing. That's why I want to just give an example of a movie. Okay, a movie is made, there is fighting going on, it came to the conclusion, the movie ended.
Ended.
But there are things that you had not studied. What are these? Maybe there are some discriminations. Again, especially the discriminations were like the males discriminated against the women.
Hmm.
But that you have not highlighted.
Yes, because what
Why?
they permitted you to see, you will see.
Yes, I did exactly what I was permitted. I went according to structure. But there is a necessity to go beyond the
Beyond all those things.
structure. So there is a necessity to go beyond the
Beyond the structure.
Beyond structure.
The restrictions.
beyond restrictions. There is necessity to do the studies.
I think constitution.
So
law, and,
structuralism, understood, post deconstruction is extension of construction. Is that clear? So I hope you have liked my class today.
yes.
If you have liked, you must share it with your friends.